Hey, how you doing, young lady?
I'm wonderful. How are you, Jody?
Great. So are you in Buffalo?
I am. Yep.
How's that going? Is it cold? Is it warm?
It's actually perfect right now. Like right at the tail end of summer is amazing in Buffalo. It's like mid 70s, not too hot, not too cold yet. But in about 2 weeks it'll probably start snowing. So
I grew up in Plattsburgh, New York.
okay. So probably similar weather.
Snow.
Yeah.
So what's happening? Let's introduce yourself a little bit. So we met each other at Sundance Film Festival, 2 years ago now? 2020?
Yeah. Which is crazy that it's been 2 years already. But yeah, 2 years ago.
That was your first year?
That was my first and only year because of the pandemic. But yeah.
That was my second. Did you get sick when you got home at all?
I got sick right at the very end of Sundance.
You did?
Yeah.
Was it bad?
It wasn't bad. It was like a normal cold. I didn't think anything of it because everyone was getting sick,
Yeah.
But yeah, luckily it wasn't bad.
I got really sick.
Did you?
Yeah, and then I gave it to my 9-year-old at the time. And no one knew anything. We just thought we had the flu really bad. I thought I was just tired, like from working that shift, that night shift.
I don't blame you. Yeah.
I went through 2 bottles of NyQuil, and then it turned out COVID.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's so crazy to think about.
So did COVID affect your work at all? Don't do that.
Sure. Yeah. I'm so I do a number of different things, but I'm a freelance filmmaker. I work within film, typically in the camera department, but I also do freelance projects of my own. So like music videos, commercials, stuff like that. I also do freelance photography. So I've got my hand in a bunch of different areas, but all within like the visual media industry. So yeah, I've been freelancing for the past couple years now, and I love it. Can't see myself doing anything else. I love film so much, and I care so much about it. So
do you handle all the business yourself?
I do.
Wow.
Which is crazy. Never a dull day, let me tell you that.
I've seen a lot of your music videos. They're so awesome and very unique and cutting edge, really.
Hey.
Are all those local artists that you work for?
Yeah, they're all local artists. I would love to break out of this region and network with other musicians. I love working with musicians so much. I went to school for music business, so it's kind of like marrying both worlds for me to be able to do music videos. So
when you say music business, what does that mean? Being an agent or
A lot of people ask that because it's such a vague term. So I initially wanted to go to school to major in cello.
Okay, so you are an artist.
Yeah, I started off as a musician. I wanted to do something with actually playing instruments, but realized that the career options for me were going to be very slim, and I didn't necessarily want to teach music. So music business was like kind of a hybrid of like, we still took music classes, like music theory and lessons and like sound recording. And then we also took like music copyright, contracts, marketing, stuff like that. So I thought I was going to work in venues. I thought I was going to do like festival promotion or like artist management, but I did for a couple years after I graduated college. I worked in a couple music venues and did a couple like promotional sort of jobs for festivals. And I loved it for the live music, but I didn't really feel like I fit in entirely. It's a much more, I don't know, to me it was pretty cutthroat, and you don't get that sense of like team that you do when you're working on like a film set. So that's kind of what I was craving. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pivot. I did photography on the side. at the time. And I was like, I love doing this. Why not explore it more? And it kind of just went from there.
Yeah, that's great. Because aren't those cameras heavy?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. You should see some of the cameras I carry now as a camera assistant. They're just like huge, like.
I remember at the Sundance Film Festival, they had those humongous cameras on their shoulders, and then they had an assistant behind carrying whatever was behind the camera. I didn't know it was so involved. I was like, wow, because it's just a little handheld thing.
So much equipment, so much gear involved.
And then I've seen the underwater cameras too, like on National Geographic. And have you done any underwater stuff like that yet?
No, that would be amazing though.
Yeah, I was wondering. It seems like you want to do that.
Oh my gosh. I mean, if I had a chance to do something for National Geographic, I would cry because that would be magical, just being close to wildlife like that. That'd be crazy.
Have you worked on any films or documentaries or?
Yeah, so I've done a number of like short films. I did a big feature film. Well, it was kind of a more independent feature film, but the biggest one that I've done last year during the pandemic, actually, which was pretty wild. All done safely, of course, but I flew down to Louisiana, Shreveport, Louisiana for it. And it's a horror film called Room 203, which hopefully it's getting released soon.
Oh, good. I think I saw it on Instagram.
Yeah, that one was exciting to work on. It was it's actually coming up on just about a year that we filmed that, but the crew was amazing. Like, it was such a tight-knit crew. It felt like a family every day. It was difficult, of course. There were a lot of challenges because we're working so fast to shoot a whole movie in 3 weeks, but it was amazing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it hot? Were you down in the summer?
No, it was just around this time. So it was like this weather, like fall weather. And then toward the very end of it, it started getting pretty cold.
So it's room 203?
Room 203 is what it's called. Yeah.
You already have a release date?
They haven't told us a release date yet.
No.
It is edited and it's all ready to go. I think they're just waiting to confirm distribution. So hopefully it's out on streaming services or something, because I would love for people to see it.
That would be so great for your resume.
Yeah, I'm hoping that soon we can watch it. Maybe they're waiting for Halloween. I don't know.
Yes, that would make sense. Because it's so funny you're speaking about that. I just chatted with a woman for October's Golden Guest, because you're my September, and she wrote a horror book that I just have been reading. It's so scary. Now you're talking about a horror movie too.
It's that season, spooky season.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about your film? Like, what's it about?
Yeah, it's actually it's an adaptation of a Japanese horror novel.
Oh.
I think by the same name, if I'm not mistaken. So they just adapted the Japanese novel for like American actors and everything.
I think I might have seen this. But go ahead and tell me about it. No.
Possibly. It's interesting because the studio that produced it, I think they're based out of LA. That's their thing. That's their niche. They adapt a lot of like Japanese horror or Japanese films for the American audience, which I think is interesting.
They're pretty good when I like the adaptations so far of these types of things.
Yeah, sometimes there have been some flops, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's like the original is so much better and scarier, but there's a lot of like references to some like Japanese like folklore, I guess you could say, within the story, which I think is cool. I would love to read the novel someday just to compare,
Is it supposed to be set in Louisiana, or?
What was that?
Is the movie supposed to be set in Louisiana, or is it?
No, I don't think it's Louisiana per se. I forgot exactly where the location is, but I don't think it's like the main characters are like college students, and they move into their first like apartment, and they find out that they're not alone in their apartment, and it's haunted. So
yeah,
it gets pretty creepy. And the whole cast and crew had a suspicion that the actual apartment we were filming in was haunted. So
that helped.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, that sounds so much fun.
Yeah, it was a blast.
So are you working on anything now?
Yeah, I've got a couple projects in the works. Right now I've been working on a lot of commercials, which is always nice, you know, because it's a shorter stint for those jobs. But I'm helping out on a really small feature film here in Buffalo called Turn Up the Night, which a local writer wrote it loosely based on his story about being in a band in the 80s. Yeah, so I'm helping out with that crew, and that crew is really fun. And I've got a documentary in the works that I'm currently trying to pitch to people. So hopefully that comes about, because we're looking to film it kind of in the fall before it gets really crummy out. But those are the two big things that I'm working on right now.
So how have you learned to pitch? I mean, I've seen people pitch, but that seems difficult. How did you learn to do that?
I mean, it helps that I have never pitched anything to like a large production company. That I think I would be intimidated by a little bit. You know, just like normal nerves that you get with stuff like that. But I don't know. I guess just having to. It's one of those things that I feel like I'm still actually learning how to do properly. But it helps that when you connect so much with an idea and care about it so much, like it just kind of comes out naturally, you know?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Because you love it. It's a passion.
Right. Exactly. And I think this story that I'm trying to tell with my friend Nick, it's a really cool one, and the family that we're going to talk to is awesome and so down to earth, and I think that helps too.
Yeah.
Because you're excited to share someone else's story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like me, I want you to share your story with me. I'm excited.
Exactly. Exactly.
So what's going on in Buffalo right now? How's COVID? Is it like affecting anybody, or because right here everyone has shots pretty much here.
Yeah.
Is it like Buffalo, or?
It's we've had some recent spikes in the area with COVID cases. So it's been pretty like up and down all year.
Yeah.
For a while there we were fine. We were coasting and it was great, but I think recently it's kind of gone up, especially now that a bunch of students are back in town, and so
how close are you to
that
Canada?
Kind of stuff?
Are you close?
I'm like 20 minutes away from Canada. Maybe not even.
Yeah. I lived about 40 minutes away from Canada in Plattsburgh.
Yeah, so we're so close, which is nice. I haven't obviously gone over the border.